Welcome back, you guys. My name is Daniel. I was a wedding photographer for the last 15 years, and I'm sharing everything I know with you about how to start a photography business. This is literally everything that just works for me. And today we are getting into the actual communication cycle. And so you're going to want to head over to my website and follow along there because I have every single email I send my clients throughout the whole entire cycle, from before they've booked past the wedding day, to sustain the value, to create the trust, and to ultimately book those clients, right? But then get more clients in the future from them. And so I break it into a few phases. So we have the inquiry phase, which is actually the most selly, obviously, part of the booking process. They have the just booked phase, immediate value, and then you have engagement session, information, planning, and then leading to the wedding day. So after the engagement session, and then we have after the wedding. And so believe it or not, there's 3 emails you're going to send after the wedding, right? So that's just for me. Other people have it set up differently, but this is what has worked for me. And if you go to my website, you will see every single email. You literally just copy and put it into your email templates. So it's that easy. So let's break down some of these here. First off, in the inquiry phase, speed is everything. So you need to be at the top of their inbox, and you need to be showing up to show them that you are meaning to be their photographer. You actually want to be their photographer, but you also at the same time want to build that trust and not overwhelm them and scare them off. So how do you do that? As soon as a client inquires through your website, I send them an email right away. Seconds later, I send them an email saying, hey, super excited to learn more about you guys. You will receive an answer from me in the next 24 hours, a response. And, in the meantime, here's my website, here's my portfolio, here's my Instagram, just to get them, back into the why they clicked on the inquire button on your website, right? And then we have the inquiry response. And so 24 hours later, or later that afternoon, depending on the time of day where they inquired, for me, I'll send the inquiry response. And this is just a more thought out, super excited to learn more about you guys. Let's schedule a Google Meet, right? And I want them to jump on a 20-minute video call with me so we can just get to know each other, and so that I can learn more about their actual wedding day. And then we have the consultation scheduling. So if in that email, the second one, they fail to schedule a consultation, the next day I send them another follow-up saying, hey, here is a time and a chance for us to schedule a call where we can learn more about each other, and you can learn more about me, and I can share, my information with you as a wedding photographer. Now, we have a few more consultation calls or setups here if they fail to do that. And a lot of times it's important to remember that these people are incredibly busy. They're both working probably. They're just getting maybe started in their careers, and they're in this phase where it's like they're planning a wedding and blah, 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 right? So you're not bugging them. They've reached out to you. They've given you permission to reach back out to them. It would actually do them a favor if you showed up on their inbox every day as just an option. No pressure, but just here's another reminder to schedule a phone call kind of thing. And it usually takes me a few times. I'm not going to lie. There's many times where I use all 7 of these emails to get them to schedule a call, but it works, right? Okay, so now let's say you have a phone call set up. I'm just going to talk very briefly about that phone call, and then we will continue looking at my communication cycle here and my response system. So in that phone call, it's literally 20 minutes, right? We are not getting into timelines. We are not selling packages. We're not doing anything selly. All I'm doing is I'm trying to get to know who they are. Tell me, how did you guys meet? Where did you guys meet? What school did you guys go to? Have you guys been to California before? So what drew you to this location? Tell me about what you're excited about, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. And if they come back at you with questions about, oh, do you shoot film? You can answer those questions, but you should be answering those questions before, right? So what I like to do is structure it where it's like, hey guys, my name is Daniel. I'm a photographer based out of California. I live here where your venue is taking place. Super excited that you guys set up this call. How you guys doing? And I just jump into it that way, right? I try not to get into the details. I don't talk about my equipment. I don't talk about second shooters, none of that stuff. Unless they're just like, hey, we really want to book with you, but we need to know this information right now, then I can get that vibe and I can answer those questions. But really, I just want to make it about getting to know them, right? Because I can't tell you how many times I've met with couples and I'm like, actually, I don't think we're the best fit. Let me shoot you over to this person right here. And guess what? That person will shoot you an inquiry in the future as well. They'll pass it forward. All right, so moving back to our emails. Then after the consultation, 2 hours later, I send them a post-consultation follow-up and then a final follow-up, right? And this is to just get them to actually sign the contract, right? Bam, they've signed the contract, they paid the retainer, and now immediately I send them a welcome email, right? Just booked, super excited you're a part of this family now. What you can expect from me is, bam, emails over the next few months with tips and tricks about timelines, family shoots, etc. If you have any questions at all, let me know. The next step is we need to get your engagement session booked, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then a week later, or maybe a day later, it just depends on how far out their wedding is, I will send them a favorite vendor's email. So I'll send them an email where it's, hey, these are the people that I've worked with in the past. I love them. You need to vet them for yourself, but this might save you hours of research if you're looking for some of these people, right? That's usually a really helpful email, to be honest. It helps you get referrals from other people, but it also, just builds that trust. Like you're the seasoned photographer, you know everything about this, and these are the people to book with. But it's really important that you want them to check out the vendors for themselves, right? All right, cool. So then they have an engagement session, and again, I have some emails there about engagement session. I send 4 emails planning the engagement session. It's planned, it's booked, the location and time, but then I'll send like, this is what you should wear. And then I send a planning email about, just a reminder, I'm super excited. Next week is your engagement session. This is where we're meeting. Constantly giving them the confirmation that, yes, you're on my calendar at this time. For busy people is really helpful because it saves them a lot of questions of like, hey, are we still meeting next week? Are you still good? You are the one who's leading this conversation. So every week you're kind of like, depending on how far you are, right? Send them an email just to like make sure that we're all on the same page here. And then I'll send them the engagement gallery, right? And then after that, I'll write up a blog and share that as well. So I might do that a week or 2 later, just to kind of keep that momentum going, right? So they've gone on this journey with me. It's not over until they've hired more or they've sent me more clients, right? And so I was going to share that blog with them. And again, there's no pressure here for anything. It's just like more value. Oh, you're on my blog. It's so cool, right? Plus, that's just going to boost your SEO and they get to share it with people. So that's fun. All right. So then after the engagement session, after that initial engagement blog, then we head to the wedding day. And the wedding day emails, I send 4. So depending on how far out we are, that's going to just, kind of matter, in terms of like the sending time. But I kind of spread it out just to kind of get that value. No more than like one email per month if I can help it, just because you don't want to overwhelm them, but you also just want to kind of constantly pop up in their email as throughout the year as the person who is super excited for their wedding day. So then I send like a thinking about the sun and the schedule, first one, just so they can actually use that information in their timeline. I'll send one about family photos, just because that can be the most stressful time of the day. And so I let them know how I do it just to make it easier. We have the vendor intro email. So this is where I'm asking them or their event planner, hey, let's all get connected, share your Instagrams. So that way when the wedding photos come out, I can share them and tag you guys. I want to make sure and tag everybody. And then finally, a final check-in email about 10 days out from the wedding. It's just one more time, a reminder of super excited. We're almost here. I will see you at this time on this day. By the way, it's really helpful if you have your hotel staff come in and clean up the room for you guys, room service real quick. So that way, when I get here, there's not a whole bunch of trash all over the place from the night before. And then wedding day happens. The next day after the wedding, I send them an email saying, congratulations, that was so much fun. What you can expect from me now is... And then I give them the expectation. That way, a week later, you don't feel that pressure of, oh my gosh, like, what if they ask me for stuff? You've already told them what's going to happen, right? Then I'll send them some sneak peeks depending on the size of the wedding. I'll send them some sneak peeks and then I'll send them their album and then they get the review request after that. So that's where I ask them for a review. And so that's my whole cycle. I hope that is helpful. Again, promptness, communication, clarity, all builds trust. And if you have any questions, head over to my website, send me an email, go to my TikTok, Instagram. My name is Daniel. I'm a bookkeeper for photographers. And so I'm super excited you're here. If you need a free bookkeeping Excel sheet, profit and loss calculator, it's on my website as well. And that way you can kind of begin tracking your income and expenses throughout the year.